Shema Yisroel Adonai Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshiach.
Welcome to Queerguru TV, and congratulations on your amazing film, Black Hat, which just won yet another award, the most prestigious short film award in the world, the Iris, if people don't know. Can we start then with you telling us what the film's about without giving it all away?
Absolutely. And thank you very much. I'm grateful to be here on behalf of Sarah Smith, the director, myself, the writer. Black Hat is a short film that is very simply the story of a young-ish, ultra-Orthodox Jewish man who's married, is a father, and finds himself alone for a weekend. His wife and children have gone out of town, and he winds up on a bit of an adventure concerning his double life, where his two worlds wind up coming into closer contact than he would ever have imagined.
So where's the story from, or is it autobiographical?
Oh, great question. Well, it's definitely not autobiographical.
Your wife's not outside.
No, my wife is non-existent, so that's a non-factor.
Yeah,
but, look, everything I write as a writer, there is some autobiographical component. So are there details or elements that I draw from myself? Absolutely. But no, in this case, it's drawn from my experience working. I also have my LCSW, I have my MSW in social work. I was a grad student at NYU many years ago, and I was placed to work with an organization called Footsteps. I don't know if you or your audience will be familiar.
This is the group in New York who help people. Sorry, I do.
Yeah, so for those who might not know, really simply, it's an agency dedicated to helping ultra-Orthodox Jews who are not certain they want to continue being religious and want help and support maybe being secular, because that's a big deal for them. So I worked with them as a social work intern, and I was blown away by the stories that I heard, that people were dealing with all kinds of secrets and double lives that you wouldn't even begin to imagine. So Black Hat really comes from some of the stories about the men and the women who were probably gay or queer or somewhere on the spectrum, but leading hetero lives and sort of bursting to, kind of lead their true lives outside of that. But that's.
How rare is it then to have a positive man in a Hasidim like this? Is it rare?
For this to happen? No. This is actually far more common than you would think. I came across several people, this specific story we tell in Black Hat is one version of many stories that I've heard. But it often involves somebody harboring a secret, somebody convinced that if the secret gets out, their family and themselves are destructed, that great shame comes to them in the community and their family that their chosen family or arranged family and their family of origin as well is all sort of at risk. So this is common. What's very common, what I'll tell you also is I heard from so many men in the community who were molested, and it so often took place in the same places, at yeshiva, with some kind of a teacher or a rabbi, at the mikvah, the ritual bath, or by a trusted neighbor or family friend. In these insular worlds, there were these opportunities that jumped out and were sort of festering and created where a lot of men said, XYZ happened to me when I was 12, 14, 16, and it awoke something within me that I don't know if it was natural or if it wasn't natural, but now I'm dealing with it. And I'm dealing with it with shame and not able to talk to anybody about it, really. And so that's kind of where Footsteps came in. That was one of the roles that it served. But sometimes these experiences led to other exploration or curiosities. And I can't tell you how many times now. I live in Los Angeles currently, but when I'm in New York, and I'm there frequently, when I go to a gay bar, I can't tell you how many times I now recognize
Hmm.
a Hasidic or ultra Orthodox man undercover,
Hmm.
as in our movie. And that hat you see our main character wear, the ski hat, where he tucks his payas under the hat, that's a common. I didn't just create that. I drew that from real life.
Is is that the fact of wanting to leave Hasidic, is being gay of a worse crime you could create then?
That's a great question. I think the Rebbe's and the learned scholars have a sort of hierarchy of worst crimes, and I think there are, from what I understand, a few things that are worse. I think murders and, some of the worst things you can imagine are
Yeah.
maybe technically worse, but that just gives you an idea of how poorly homosexuality is perceived, that we have to compare it to such things.
Hmm.
It's considered a serious departure from the Talmud, a serious violation of the Talmud and of everything they hold dear. And I think it also, beyond the Talmud, I think it threatens the family system and
Yeah.
the way of life. So it's sort of a double edged sword, if you will.
So you're talking about a shop that is more closed than the Catholic Church when it comes to abuse.
Absolutely, because the Catholic Church is fully, the conversation and the dialogue around it are fully open, like it or not, for people in that world. The dialogue and conversation in the ultra Orthodox world is really on the periphery still. I
Hmm.
have a friend, he's very open. I can say his name. His name is Chaim. He's a gay, formerly ultra Orthodox Jew, raised in that world in Brooklyn, New York, I believe in Crown Heights or Borough Park. And he um, is an activist now who, one of his main goals is to shine a light on the abuse that
Hmm.
happens in those communities. And he's constantly giving speeches, going to events, using his social media, authoring articles to tell his own story of how he was abused and how others are being abused and how people are complicit in covering it up in the
Hmm.
communities.
Philip, how did you get to film inside a synagogue then with such a controversial subject?
Yeah, it's a great question. It was not an easy approach,
How did
especially
you?
for more religious ones. But we found a synagogue. It was actually our producer Yaniv Roca, has great connections, and he knew somebody at this synagogue. And I'm gonna blank on the name, and I hate that I am. It might come to me in a minute, but he knew somebody at the synagogue. Mishkan. It's called Mishkan, and it's in Venice Beach, California, and he knew somebody, and it's a conservative synagogue, so it's not that religious. It's religious, but it's not that religious. And they're a progressive congregation that is interested in the arts and
Yeah.
interested in, sort of exploring some of these issues, and so they were nice enough to work with us.
So some of the awards you've been winning have been at Jewish film festivals. So
Absolutely.
they've been accepting you. I mean, these are sort of
Mhm.
regular, but not gay. They've been accepting you well then.
Would you believe that we've been doing better and being more accepted with the Jewish film festivals than the
Gays are
LGBTQ
so
film
picky. Girls are
festivals?
so picky.
Yeah. Well, actually, to be honest with you, I'm gonna come out and say it for the first time. I haven't said it out loud with anybody else yet, but we've been snubbed by some gay film festivals.
Really?
And there's, oh yeah, yep. I won't name names, but if you
Okay.
just look at who we've played and who we haven't played, that should give you some info. I think that, look, I think in 2019 there's a lot of politics around Judaism vis-a-vis Israel, like it or not.
Right.
Whatever your position is, whatever you believe, people associate that issue with Judaism, and I think that there has been some discomfort
Mhm.
with certain programmers around it. We look and we see wonderful things happening with films concerning, finally, people who, brown people, Muslim people, diverse people being programmed as they should be.
Yeah.
And yet we've had trouble getting this to be seen as diverse when
That's
it is very
right.
diverse.
That's a
So
really
that's been a challenge with the LGBTQ film festival circuit. However, Irish Prize is one of a handful of festivals who
amazing.
they're amazing. We love them. Our last short film was there.
Okay. In the meantime,
Yeah.
in the meantime, don't lose your black hat.
Yeah, I don't know where I haven't seen it around here. I can find it. So yeah, no,
Okay. Well, good luck and thank you for talking to us.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Shema Yisroel Adonai Noidel Malkeinu, Noidel Mashiach.